Hey goblins and goblins, Snell here, and Borderlands 4 is confirmed and it's coming out September 23rd, 2025. So, with the recently released launch date trailer, I just want to kind of cover some of the information that we can gather. Obviously, there's no details actually revealed, but we can kind of gather just based off deductive reasoning and watching the video what is and isn't going to be in the new Borderlands game coming out at the end of the year. First talking point for me, at least based off this trailer, is the new design of your red chests. They're looking really fresh, really clean. I love it. Game looks good. The picking up the weapon was smooth. So everything I'm seeing right now is very indicative of a very clean animation, very clean gameplay, which I don't think we didn't expect coming from Borderlands 4 and the Gearbox team. Obviously, there's been some concerns with Unreal 5, but at least based off this gameplay trailer, everything's looking good. But the big jumping point I want to talk about is the potential new manufacturer or new projectile weapon type that we're seeing. Right after the chest opens, the red chest opens, you see the player character holding a yellow, kind of like a construction tool looking weapon with the hollow sight and everything, and it seems to shoot out either a disc projectile of some sort or a spinning projectile of some sort. Because when you look, if you pause the frames and you look, you do see gaps in the projectile, which would indicate that not an actual like saw disc or anything. It might be something that spins, like in theory like a hammer, or like if you were to throw a hammer really fast you would see it looping like that, or an axe, something along those lines. So it's something that's spinning out quickly. So this could be indicative of a new manufacturer, that this is their gimmick. They have like different projectiles. Like I said, it looks kind of like a construction weapon, so we could be having like constructor brand manufacturer that deals with like bolts, saw blades, things, weird things coming out of the gun that would a construction site. And again, it is possible, because when you look at the one character, he's bulky. He looks like he could be like a hauler type of person of some sort. Like his background could be that he's like a corporate construction worker or something like that. But again, this could also just be a unique weapon or a legendary weapon, so I'm not going to rule out that this is just like a one-off. But this is potentially indicative of like new weapon types, right? Because with the pre-sequel, we got lasers. I would love to see a return of like a dedicated laser weapon, but we may not get it. But there'll probably be weapons with lasers, because we've been getting that in Wonderlands. We got that in Borderlands 3. So there's going to be some type of lasers, but now we got potentially new projectiles, which again, we did see kind of new projectiles with Wonderlands. So again, this is all possibility. Another talking point, or at least something I think that stands out in the trailer, is these orange shield pickups that are coming from enemies. These could just be like shield boosters, but I'm thinking that because of their coloration and because they look more like armor plates, this is indication that the game is going to be including armor for players. Not necessarily like customizable armor in the RPG sense, but armor in the sense that we will also have yellow bars, just like the enemies have had since Borderlands 2. So these little pickups could be that we either can have armor instead of shields, or we can have armor in addition to our shields. So it's just something to keep in mind moving forward. I know I watched Jolt's video on this as well, and he mentions the Siren's arm canisters, so I kind of want to address this. I don't necessarily think the arm canisters are indicative that this character that we're playing as potentially isn't a true Siren. I think it's just a kind of cool sci-fi look. It could be that's the class mod. It could be that this person's using iridium, but it could also just be that it's a cool injector thingy. Maybe the character has health issues, we don't know. The one thing I know is that although the canisters are only on the one arm, the character does use both arms to use their active abilities. She uses the right arm to summon the kind of like the Reaper spirit, and then she uses her left arm to do like the explosive melee bomb thingy. Next up is the mobility and swimming of this game. Borderlands 4 is looking like it's going to be a very mobile focused game, which is going to be great for those who like speedrunning, but it just looks very smooth. Everything's looking good. They've done some real good stylization with adding the like speed lines while you're sliding to indicate that you're sliding. Mobility just looks overall great. The fact that we have swimming in the game is cool. Does that mean we're going to have underwater combat? Probably not, because it didn't look like you had access to your gun while you were swimming in the short clip that we had. But speaking of mobility, obviously there's grappling in the game. It does look like it's confirmed that these are going to be dedicated grappling spots. I hope the maps have a lot of them. because it would be nice to include a lot of grappling in the mobility, but it doesn't look like you're able to freely grapple any, which I know for some people that's going to be a disappointment, but for me, I'm okay with it. Grappling is a gimmick in most games anyway, so I'm not too worried about it. But again, going back to the mobility, the grappling looks smooth. It does show that from that little scenario, we see that once you grapple, you're able to kind of double jump out of the swing, and you're still able to shoot and use equipment while you know, gliding through the air. So that's really good to see. Another thing, I have a list of these things that I'm trying to work through, but I didn't mention, we do see that there's going to be potentially different equipment types, because we see, or at least a confirmation of a throwing knife instead of a grenade. Unsure if that throwing knife is like a, you know, a talent ability or something that replaces your grenade, or if this is available to all characters or just one character. But we do see near the end of the trailer is that you're able to throw something that's not a grenade from your left hand. So this could be just, you know, confirmation that we're getting different equipments, which is really cool. This is a nice change, and obviously very welcome. I also want to talk about, there is a bit of a scene where we don't know if radiation type is coming back, or what that, you know, what the debuff weapon type is going to be in the game. I know, again, going back to Jolt's video on this, he kind of pointed out these characters that were exploding yellow, but when I look through the footage of it, it does look like the characters are just kind of exploding because that's the Timekeeper's robots. They have this like orange or yellowy blood. It doesn't necessarily look like they are exploding because of radiation yet. So we don't know if radiation's coming back, or if we're gonna get slag, or if we're gonna get something else. It's quite possible, but who knows? We'll have to see when more footage comes out. And then lastly, obviously the end of the trailer, you get some blood rain, a Psycho kind of standing there, arms in the air, you know, basking in the blood rain. Obviously these are included in the trailers for a reason, so we might be getting weather cycles, or there'll be areas with different weather, which will be cool. It's always nice to get different locales with different weather, so looking forward to that. Anyways, thank you for watching. If you like the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe, you know, do the engagement stuff. Thank you for watching, and yeah, see you in the next video.